In the previous lecture, we created the user interface and we have the whole connection to get the answer from the model running from LM Studio. Now, as I told you earlier, we can work on the system message to make it better, and we will do this. But before we do so, what I want us to do is improve the user interface that we have here in the simulator. Why? Because check this out. If I go here and I start typing something else, so instead of what is recursion, I go with what is an integer and press send, then you know, look, we don't know that it's happening. We don't know that it's going to the backend and try to get the results. So we need to work on this, right? So a few things we can do is work on the user interface. Let's do this. First, let's go back to Xcode and go to the main storyboard. By the way, if you don't see this, you'll have to click on the left pane. So show the left pane and click on main to see the main storyboard here. And what we're going to do here is add the activity indicator. So click on the plus sign and type activity indicator view. Here it is. And let's drag and drop this somewhere around here. Now what I want to do is bring back the right pane. And once we have this panel, what I want to do is click on the three lines here to be able to play with the settings. And as you can see, the style is medium. I'm going to go to large. Let's go with large here. There we go. Default for the tint. Usually that's fine, but you can put like let's say a gray tint. Let's go with system gray 2 color. There we go. Now let's go to the measurements and let's make it, let's put here 60 by 60. All right. And the next thing, you know, we need to center this. So first click on the add new constraints, and we're going to add the constraints of the height and the width. So click on width and height and click on add two constraints. Then let's center this. I'm going to go on the alignment, and I'm going to say that it's going to be horizontal in container, and it's going to be moving. Add one constraint. There we go. So it's horizontally aligned. Then click on the add new constraint and add to the top, let's say 100 here. Okay, there we go. And click add one constraint. There we go. So it's going to stay here. So by default, we want this to be hidden. But before we do so, we need to add this inside of the view controller code. So go to the code of view controller and go all the way to the top. And let's add the IB outlet. IB outlet, week, var, and that would be the activity indicator. And that's a UI activity indicator view. Right? So now let's connect this. Go back to the main, select the activity indicator, go to the connector, and drag and drop the new referencing outlet to the view controller and select activity indicator. There we go. The connection is made. You can verify that the connection is made by clicking on view controller, and you'll see that yes, it has a connection. Now on view did load, you definitely want to hide this. So click inside of the view did load method and hide it. Well, how do you do this? Well, you do activity indicator dot is hidden is equal to true. So by default, it's not showing. So now what do we want? Well, whenever we click on the send button, so the button send tab, we want to show the activity indicator. So at the beginning, just type here, activity indicator dot is hidden is equal to false. Actually, I'm going to take this and I'm going to drop it a little bit more down. Drag and drop this here, okay, after the system message. Why? Because I want to make sure first that the prompt is not empty, right? So what I'm going to do here is that before even creating the system message, I'm going to say if prompt dot or is equal to empty. So basically, if there's no text in it, then guess what? Well, let's do a guard. Guard let prompt equal is not equal, so different of empty. else uh, oh, see, if it's not, if it's empty, then we return. So actually, if it's not empty, we continue, and if it's empty, we return. But by the way, it's complaining because we need prompt dot length of byte using dot utf8, and we say is not equal to 0. Basically, that it's not empty. Else we return. There we go. Forget about the let because it already exists. There we go. So if it's greater than 0, we have some text. If not, we don't have text. All right. And at this point, well, we should we should show the activity indicator, and after we show the activity indicator, let's disable the button, right? The send button. So we go sender dot is enabled equal false, so somebody does not click on it twice. Let's clean the response. So the response is inside of the text area result. So let's do text area result dot text is equal to empty. So we clean it up. All right, and we have the activity indicator that shows. Perfect. And now the next step is whenever we come back from the result, let's re-enable them. So sender dot is enabled is equal to true. So we can press the send button again and hide the activity indicator. Activity indicator dot is hidden is equal to true. And what else? We need the text area result, and that's it. That's enough. However, this is not gonna work because we need this on the main thread. So put a dispatch. That would be a dispatch queue here. Dispatch queue dot main dot async, and inside of this, well, we just drag and drop this here. And by the way, it's going to complain. It's going to complain because we need to do self dot activity indicator. And also the activity indicator, we need to activate it, right? Because we unhide it, but let's animate it. Activity indicator dot, we can do start animating here. So that's how we're going to see it. And whenever we are done here, we do the stop animated. So self dot activity indicator dot stop animating. And by the way, we actually don't even need to hide it here, because another way is to go to the main storyboard, click on the activity indicator, and here change the color to, let's say, black color. And something else you need to do is here you can hide when stopping. Okay, so when you stop, it hides it automatically, and click on animating so that it rotates. We've changed the color and the animating and the hides when stopped. We can go back to the view controller, and we don't need those lines that says the activity indicator is hidden. And same here, we don't need the is hidden, and we don't need it inside of the view did load anymore. Press play. Let's take a look at this. Well, we have to stop the animating first, right? As you can see, it shouldn't be there. So let's go here and do self dot activity indicator dot stop animating. And that would hide it. Now let's run again. Here we go. Now let's type, what is an AI engineer? Send. Okay, it's getting the answer. We cannot click on the send button anymore. Perfect. And we have to wait for the reply. There we go. And the activity indicator left. We have the answer. So far, so good. Now let's try again, and just, what is a recursive algorithm? And press send, and that should clear this, right? Let's try send. Perfect. That cleared. Shows the activity indicator, and we're going to get the reply from the large language model. Here we go. Working great. All right, that's a much better UI.